This call is now being recorded.
Okay, this meeting is now being recorded like usual. I will record the meeting and I will take the attendance. Yeah, so we may start now lah. Yeah. Before that, make sure you can hear me, and then also make sure you can see my presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, Machine, thank you. Right, so we continue for today. So you just look at my presentation first. Okay, so today we continue our next topic for 1.2. So if you still remember, last week we already learned about 5 sensory organ in human, right? So what is the 5 sensory organ in human? Number 1. What is the 5 sensory organ? Anybody can tell me? What is the name of the organ? You just name me, just give me the name of the organ.
Ear.
Ears, yes, very good. The first one is ear. Okay, ear is the sense of what? We learned about the sense of hearing. Okay, the organ name is our ear. Okay, next one is the eyes, right? Okay, our eyes is one of the sensory organ in human, and then our eyes, we use the sense of sight. Okay, and then the next one is the our nose. Okay, our nose, because we need to smell, so we are using the sense of smell. Okay, and then number 4 is what? Our skin. Because we want to feel the sense of touch. And then last one is our eyes, right? Not eyes already said. What's the last one? Sense of taste. Okay, what is the organ name? The organ is our tongue here, right? Okay, make sure you understand that. Not just you understand the name of the organ, and then also you must also identify the parts and also the function of each organ. Okay, especially in the eyes, because eye got so many. Danielson boleh deh, apa boleh deh? Okay, because for example, there are so many parts in the eye that you need to just need to identify and then know the brief function of it. Okay, make sure you understand that. So for today, we just continue our topic for today. We're going to learn about the mechanism of hearing. Okay, what is the meaning by mechanism? Can you hear me? Is it okay? The line is okay? Boleh ya? Okay, yes. Okay, bagus. Thank you very much. So, mechanism of hearing, you can say that mechanism here mean how we hear. It is how we hear. Bagaimana kita mendengar. Okay? Okay, you look back at the diagram. I hope you can see the diagram. What I'm going to show you. This is the cross section of our ear, the organ, the sensory organ of our ear. All right, and then you can see here. This is the sources of sound. Okay, this is what we call the sources of sound, meaning that where the sound come from. All right. Or we can call it what? You still remember? The outside environment. The outside environment that change. All right? The outside environment that change our way to sense things. We call it what? Sound wave. All right? Sound wave is one of these things. We call it what? Who can remember? We have here the sound wave. Or in general, we call it a Stimuli. The stimuli for our sense of hearing is the sound wave, right? Maybe sound waves from where? Maybe the sound wave from the speaker, maybe the sound wave from the television, from your handphone. There are many sources of sound wave, right? Okay, but according to the graph, or according to the picture here, these are the sound waves from the loudspeaker, right? From the loudspeaker. Okay, so what happened? The sound waves from the loudspeaker will what we call arrive to our ear. It will arrive, or it will reach our ear, and then I do not want to, to touch about the parts and function. Maybe I ask you to read before this, and I hope you already understand or identify which part and function of the ear. Right now is only we're going to learn the mechanism, or how we hear. Okay, right. You can see here the label here. This is the earlobes. Okay, what is the function of earlobes, class? Anybody can explain to me? Can tell me what is the function of earlobes? Earlobe.
Gather the sound wave.
Yes, very good. Correct. Earlobes. That's why we need earlobe to gather the sound wave. That's why the bigger the earlobes, example lah, if you have the bigger earlobes, so you can hear pretty much more, what we call, we can hear more than other people's. But like an elephant, you know elephant got very big earlobes, right? That's why it can hear the tiniest sound. That's why the elephant got bigger earlobes. So if you do like this, for example, you put your hand like this, for example, you can hear more, isn't it? Because we just amplify, or we just increase the surface area of the earlobes here, so that we can increase the we can gather the sound more. We can gather more sound by using by putting your hand like this, the earlobes. Is it true? If you do like this, you can gather more sound. If you just not doing like this, you can just hear very, what we call, tiniest, or the smallest sound only. Right? Okay. Earlobes gather the sound, and then it will go through where? The sound will go through the ear canal. We go through the ear canal right here, and then it will hit what? Number one, it will hit the eardrum. This is the eardrum over here. Right? It will hit the eardrum. So what happened to the eardrum when it's being hit? When the sound wave hit the eardrum will start to vibrate. Okay? It will start to vibrate, and then it will go to the ossicle, and then from the ossicle will go to the oval window, and to the oval window will go to the cochlea, all right, and then go to the brain to be what is the function of brain? When the message impulse or the signal impulse reach the brain, what is the task, or what is the job of the brain? Anybody can explain to me what is the job of the brain? It will what? It will try to what? Brain. Where's the brain function? When the message, or where the impulse reach the brain, okay, or arrive to the brain will try to translate try to, what we call, translate the message, whether, for example, where the sound is coming from, isn't it? Okay, what is the type of sound? Okay, who are talking? Right, your brain already know that. Okay, for example, at your home, you got your mother, your father, and your little sister, and then somebody call you maybe from their room. And then you already know, right? You know who are calling you, your mother, your father, or your sister, because each of the sound, each of the vocal or voice is different, right? Because why? Because your brain already know who voice is that. The voice belong to who. That's why it's the brain function to translate, or to what we call to translate the message. And then you can know somebody mungkin maybe in the night, in the middle of the night, somebody call you. Somebody call you, but it is not from your father, not from your mother, not from your sister, somebody else. You know, because your brain has no memory. Siapa panggil saya? That's why it's the function of the brain. Okay, mungkin hantu panggil lah kan. That's why the function of the brain is to translate the message, whether the message or whether the sound come from the sources that you know or the sources that you do not know. Kamu tidak tahu. Itu the function of the brain. And then depending on the sound wave, what is your action? Contohnya, kalau ibu kamu panggil kamu kan, if your mother call you, if your mother to call you to come here, you sound receive, the sound, the voice of your mother received to your ears and then processed by the brain, and then the brain already know, oh, my mother is calling me. Then what is your response? Your response is you go to your mother. That is the very brief what we call explanation about how we hear. Okay, it is all about the brain. Okay, our ears just receive the stimuli. Ear just receive the stimuli or receive the sound wave. All the process is being done by our brain. Okay, that's why if people got brain injury, maybe got accident, and then they got concussion. Concussion means they maybe their head bump into the hard, what we call a very hard surface, and then they become lost memory. That's why brain is very important to translate all the to translate all the stimuli or all the response around us. Okay, that's what we call the brain is very, very, very important, right? So next one. These are the flow, or what we call the mechanism of hearing in human. You must understand this. Okay. I just explained this just now. So we just what we call sorry. All right. Sorry. Repeat again. How our ear function, right? Number one, the sound of the source of sound, and then go to our earlobe, and then from our earlobe go to our ear canal, and then from ear canal go to the eardrum, and then eardrum. What happened to the eardrum? It will vibrate, and then it will also vibrate the ossicle bones, vibrate also. And then from the ossicle bone, it go to the oval window, vibrate also to the cochlea, and then go to the nerve impulse. The nerve impulse is the signal from the cochlea goes to the brain through auditory nerve. Auditory nerve is just a wire lah, dia macam wire saja. Dia macam ada satu wire cable that connect the ears to the brain. This one, dia macam ada satu wire saja sini. It's just like a wire here. Okay. Right? And then from the auditory nerve, it will carry the nerve impulse to the brain, and then what happens in the brain? The sound is interpreted. Okay? If you do not, you never heard, if you never hear the sound before, your brain will become what? Will wah, dari mana datang bunyi ini ya? I don't know the sound before. That is the brain. If your brain already know the sound, it will the brain is already translate it to you. For example, kan bunyi burung ka, you tahu itu bunyi burung. Bunyi kucing ka, kamu tahu itu bunyi kucing. Okay, sometimes let's not be fooled by the sound of the surrounding, right? It is up to our brain to translate the sound from the environment, right? Is it okay? The internet, the line is okay or not? Wait, this one. What is this? Ongoing call. All right. Okay. Any question? Okay, Kinky Lawyer. Good. Right. So this is you must okay. In this topic, you must understand the mechanism how we hear from the sources of the sound to the sound is interpreted. Okay. Okay. You can read the flow, the mechanism on how we hear, and then if you have question, you can ask me later. Okay. Next one. Okay, the second mechanism is what we call a mechanism of the sight. Okay, how do we see? Bagaimana kita melihat? Okay, right. You must identify again. You must try to identify the parts and function of the eye. So we have here what? We have here the cornea, the ciliary muscle, the vitreous humor, the retina, eyelids, aqueous humor, and optic nerve here. Okay, so I want to ask you, if the mechanism of hearing, the stimuli is sound wave. Okay, you understand me? Mechanism of hearing, the stimuli coming from outside is the sound wave. Is it true? Right? But for the mechanism of sight, what is the stimuli from outside? Anybody? What is the stimuli from outside? If the mechanism of sight, what is the stimuli? Hari. Cepat. Apa? Anybody? What's the stimuli? Hearing, the stimuli is sound wave. If our eye, sight, mechanism of sight, what's the stimuli? Yes? Cannot hear lah. What's the stimuli for sight? Well, you can use the chat lah. Chat function there. Anybody? I'm waiting. Kinky Loy. Receptor. Not receptor, stimuli. Hearing, stimuli from outside for hearing is sound. For sight, what is the stimuli outside? Ada jawapan ada di sini. Sorry. The stimuli is what class? The stimuli Kinky Loy. Yes, very good. The stimuli is light ray or the lights. Cahaya. Betul lah, betul. Correct. Is the light, because light will enter the eye, and then the lights will able us to see the object because there is a light. So light is the stimuli for the mechanism of sight. Because if there is no light, we cannot see, right? For example, in the middle of the night, when you enter your room, you go to the room and then you close all the window, close all the light. You cannot see anything because there is no light. When there is a light, so you can see. You'll be able to see if there is a light here, right? Okay. So what is the number one? Okay. All right. First, I explain one by one. Lights from an object enter the eyes through the cornea, aqueous humor, eye lens, vitreous humor before reaching to retina. For example, here, what is the object here? The object here is the candle here, right? Okay, so the light from the candle here will be reaching our first, will go through the cornea, okay, and then we'll go to the aqueous humor, and then we go to the lens, and then we go to the vitreous humor, and then it will reach retina. Okay, this is retina. You still remember retina? Retina is the inner layer of the eyes. Got 3 layers, right? Retina, sclera, and choroid. But retina is the inner layer, the very sensitive layer, sensitive to the light, sensitive to the light here. Okay, it will go to this how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. It will go into this 4 layer, and then it will reach the retina inside the eye. Okay, so I continue. This part of the eye focus the light ray from the object into the retina, and the object appears smaller and inverted. Okay, it will invert. Dia terbalik. So the image formed at the retina is inverted. You know, inverted maksudnya dia terbalik. Here, dia terbalik. Because it will, what we call, if you still remember in Form 1, it will deflected or it will refracted by the lens here. All right, that's why we can see that the image formed on the retina, here is inverted, dia terbalik. But adakah kita tengok dia terbalik? Macam buku ini, kalau saya tengok terbalik tak? Terbalik tidak, because that is the function of our brain to correct the orientation so that the image we see is not inverted. Okay, later on we talk about that. Right, so next one, number 2, the light rays stimulate photoreceptor. You see, remember the receptor on the retina here. Receptor on the retina here will stimulate receptor to produce nerve impulse. Again, it will produce nerve impulse ataupun dia akan menghasilkan isyarat nerve impulse. Okay, and then send to the brain through the what? Through the optic nerve. Dia macam ada wire. Tengok, samalah, dia macam ada wire. Wire from where? Maybe the nerve from the optic nerve, and then it will connected to the brain here. Dia ada macam wire. And then what is the function of the brain? The function of the brain is to interpret the impulse, and then the inverted image will then appear upright. Okay, dia akan jadi tegak balik. Although the image on the retina is inverted, but it will be interpreted by the brain so that the image will go upright again. It will not be inverted. Okay. Any question about mechanism of sight? Okay, mechanism of sight. So what is your response? For example, when you see the candle, oh, that is a candle. What your body respond is based on the interpretation of your brain. If your brain see something that is dangerous, maybe your body will prepare for you to run away, for example, or to fight. If your signal from the eye sent to the brain, and then your brain interprets something that is very funny, for example, something that is very odd or very weird, and then what is your response? Based on the what we call brain interpretation. But what happened if your brain never sees something? For example, you see the UFO lah, kalau ada alien ke apa, what is your response? What is your response based on the brain based on your prior knowledge, or what we call your knowledge before that. Okay. Any question about eyes? Any question? Is it okay? Okay. No. Right. Next one.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Eyes mechanism. This one I will skip. Okay. Next one. Next one is sensitivity to the skin on different parts of body towards stimuli. Okay. Number one, how we hear. Number two, how we see. And then number three, the sensitivity of the skin towards stimuli. Again, what is the stimuli of our skin, sensory organ? Apa stimuli dia untuk kulit kita? Cepat. Apa stimuli untuk kulit kita? What is the stimuli for our skin? Siapa ingat lagi? Okay, kinkiloid, pain, very good. Pressure, very good. Betul, correct. Pain, pressure, tekanan. Heat, yes, of course, heat. And then what? And then what? And then what? Pain, pressure, heat, cold, and then the touch. Because your skin can feel the touch. Pressure mean what? Pressure mean tekanan lah. If you touch or if you press on the table too hard or too strong, your body will feel the pain. Okay, that is the stimuli for our skin. Okay, very good. Okay, what we're going to learn here, that not all parts of body, not all parts of our skin has the same sensitivity. You know what is your meaning by sensitivity? Sensitivity. Not all skin, the sensitivity is the same. Okay, some part of the skin you have less sensitive. You know what is sensitive? Maybe when you touch you less feel pain, for example in the arm, for example kurang rasa sakit. Tapi kalau di tangan lebih rasa sakit. Itu contohlah, the example of sensitivity. Okay, belakang telinga ini, you think very sensitive or less sensitive? Kalau orang pegang telinga kamu, if somebody touch your ear, you feel very sensitive or not sensitive? For example, your cheek or your what? Your lips or your elbow. Not every part of skin feel the same sensitivity. Okay, so we go through about that. Right. If you saw the picture here, that's why usually you take the injection on your forearm, on your arm here, right? You take the injection here. Why? And then the picture number 2, you can see when the mother preparing the milk for their young, for the baby, they put the what? They put the milk at the hand here because they want to, you know, to feel whether the milk is hot or not. And then number 3, picture number 3, the braille. The blind person read through the braille by touching the what we call raised dot on the paper. You can feel it. Okay, so there is an activity here, but I'm not going through the activity here. Later on, maybe you can we go to the, after you come to the school, we do the activity, or maybe later, right? Okay. Wait. Okay, so I continue. It said that the sensitivity of skin towards stimuli depend of the number of receptor and the thickness of the epidermis. Okay. number of receptor on the skin, and then the thickness of epidermis will what we call influence the sensitivity of the skin toward the stimuli. Okay, if the number of receptor is high, so the sensitivity is high. Alright, how about the thickness? If the thickness, kalau kulit itu tebal, if the thickness of the skin is very thick, the sensitivity is more or less. Anybody? Kalau kulit ini tebal, kalau epidermis ini tebal, you can feel more or you feel less. Siapa boleh beritahu? Kalau kulit ini tebal, thickness of the epidermis. You know, you already know what is epidermis. Epidermis is the layer of the skin. The layer of the skin. When the skin is thick, when the skin is thicker, dia jadi tebal. You can sensitivity is more or less. Anybody? What happened? Logic saja. Just a logical. If the skin is thick, kalau kulit itu tebal, kamu rasa ada rasa ke ataupun ada kurang rasa kalau kulit itu tebal? Of course, yeah. Of course, you will feel the skin or the sensitivity is less when your epidermis is thicker. When your epidermis is thinner, you will feel more what we call sensitivity. For example, lips has many receptor and then very thin epidermis, very sensitive. Our lips here, the skin around the lip is very sensitive. Also the back of the ear is also very sensitive. And then the tip of our finger, is also very sensitive. Okay, less sensitive where? Maybe at the elbow, less sensitive. Okay, at our knee is less sensitive. Here is very less sensitive. Dia kurang sensitive. That's why if you go for injection, inject here. Nobody inject here. Inject here. Kalau ada suntikan itu, inject sini. Lagi satu, kalau you go to the doctor, the doctor want to give you an injection, this one, if the doctor want to give you injection, contoh gambar ini, this one. If the doctor want to give you injection here, satu di tangan, betul? One in the arm, in the forearm here. Lagi satu di mana dia selalu cucuk? Di mana dia selalu cucuk? You rasa? Dia selalu cucuk di mana? Batok, di bahagian punggung bawah itu pun dia selalu cucuk di situ. Because why? Very what we call less sensitive at the buttock. Okay? Can you hear me? Boleh dengar lagi ke? Internet very slow ke? Okay, alright. Okay, kita sambung. Okay, next one, sensitivity of tongue. Ini lidah. There was sensitivity of the tongue. The sensitivity of the tongue toward different taste stimuli. Okay, how many type of taste? Ini kamu kena ingat. They are sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. Because this is other stimuli that respond. This is other what we call the stimuli that used by our tongue to taste. Lidah ini. Okay. Ini I will skip this. This one you must remember this one. Ini yang kena ingat. Which area of the tongue is more sensitive to bitter? This one is bitter. at the what we call at the the base of the tongue here. This is bitter. Okay, and then at the side of our tongue is sour. Right? Not just for tasting, not just the area of the tongue. It is not just taste the sour. Okay, meaning that at this area, for example, at the side of the tongue here, the taste of sour is more. You will feel the taste of sour more in this area. Okay, bitter at the back of the tongue is the bitter. You will feel, you will what we call taste bitter more at the end of the tongue. Okay, and then at the tip of the tongue is umami, and then at the side front of the tongue we will feel salty. Sorry, this one is sweet. This area is, sorry, this area is sweet, right? Where is umami? This area is what we call salty, and then umami. What is umami? Umami is the combination of all these four tastes. Okay, you just remember the location of our tongue that feel more, that we can taste more of the bitter, sour, sweet, salty, and umami. Ini bahagian-bahagian dia, kamu kena ingat. Okay, boleh ya? This is how we taste the food, how we taste the chemical substance inside our mouth, to be detected by our tongue, right? Ini pun kena ingat juga ni. Okay, so this one I think the last topic for today. Combination of the sense and taste of smell, related or not related? Taste and smell working together. Okay, you cannot close your nose and then eat. You will feel nothing. Okay, you must smell. The sensory organ inside the nose will also what we call feel the smell, and then when you put the food inside your mouth and then you taste it, it also working together with the smell, so that the food we eat will taste delicious. Okay, you try at home. Maybe you can pinch your nose and then try to eat. You will feel nothing. Okay, meaning that the sense of taste, okay, the sense of taste of your tongue and then the sense of smell by your nose is working together. One thing you can use, when you pinch your nose, when you are taking a medicine. Kalau kamu makan ubat, kamu boleh tutup hidung, kan? Because the taste of the medicine is not very not delicious, kan? Dia sangat tak sedap ubat. Kalau kamu makan ubat, kamu boleh tutup hidung. Tetapi kalau kamu makan ayam tutup hidung, ayam itu kamu tidak akan rasa sedap. Okay, boleh cubalah. That's why they are working together. Sense of taste and then sense of smell working together for you to enjoy the food. Okay, not just only the tongue only. Also it combine or cooperate or working together with the nose also, right? So many things to do here, the activity. Okay, any question? Any question? Boleh ada soalan? Okay, I need to know when you get your textbook. Bila dapat buku teks? Sudah dapat ke belum? Hari ini? Hari ini? Oh, sudah dapat kah? Saya lupa lah. Oh, hari ini ada. Ayo. Okay, tak apa, tidak apa. Buku kerja? Buku kerja yang mana? Boleh tunjuk saya King Kiloy? King Kiloy, you can show me your workbook. Mana King Kiloy? Mana kamera? I want to see the buku kerja. What type of buku kerja? Mana King Kiloy? Siapa mau tunjuk? On your camera, show me the book. Science process skill 3. Okay, good. Alright, boleh. Thank you. Science process skill number 3. Sudah. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Okay, like this. I will give you the homework based on the workbook later, because I haven't get the latest workbook, the Form 3 workbook. I haven't got. I will ask the ketua to give me the book. I only got Form 1 and Form 2. Form 3 not yet. Maybe I will ask later. So any information I will give you on the, or any homework, any information I will give, I will tell you on the Google, on the Telegram, on our group Telegram, Science Telegram group later. Okay. From now, I will need to take the workbook. I will get the workbook later. Okay. Okay, so now is 11:20. Okay, any question to ask? If there is any question, so we stop at page 23. So I continue page 24 next class. When is our next class? Our next class is on tomorrow. Tomorrow 11:30. Tomorrow 11:30 we will meet again tomorrow. So if there is no other question, I think we can stop here. And then for any homework, I will update on our Science Telegram group. Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay, very good. So you can leave the class now. Thank you for your listening and cooperation. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Cikgu Anwar.
Yes.
Liu Chunwai sudah masuk, dia cakap tunggu kamu sahaja. Saya sudah lama tak jumpa dia.
Siapa?
Liu Chunwai.
Liu Chunwai. Sudah add dalam group. You already sudah add dalam group?
Sudah.
Okay, and then dia sudah join sini kah?
Dia cakap tunggu kamu sahaja.
Dia automatic join. Ini automatic join.
Saya tak tahu dia.
Tak apa. You beritahu dia. Besok ada kelas, besok standby.
Bye.
Besok lah. Besok ada kelas, nanti kita standby. Masuk dia nanti.
Cikgu Anwar.
Yeah.
Kamu call ibu bapa dia. Kamu telepon ibu bapa dia, tanyalah.
Ya, nanti saya call lah, nanti saya beritahu lah. Tapi you sudah add kan? Kamu sudah add dia dalam kita Telegram kan? Saya nampak sudah add.
Kamu call dia lah.
Tak apa. Kalau dia sudah add, sudah ada dalam grup, nanti saya message dia lah. Saya akan message dia. Chunwai ini kan? Chunwai, Chunam. Nanti saya call nanti.
Terima kasih. Bye.
Okay. Terima kasih. Bye-bye.